Hi everybody, it's January 10, 2020. I want to address Max Igan's video that he just posted today. I've been getting comments from subscribers like this one. Max Igan is asking not to talk about DEW weapons being used in the fires in Australia. It's a hindrance to their cause. Please listen to his last video. And I will address several of the points that Max makes. I disagree with a lot of what he is saying, but I certainly agree with he's saying we need to be careful, we need to vet information. I didn't hear him say don't talk about DEW, but I will say that I listened to most of the video. I scrolled through some and kind of like giving a cursory read to an article. Okay, so I didn't hear him say that, but I did hear him say, be careful and vet the information. He did say, talking about directed energy weapons will be called tinfoil hatters. That's true for every topic, every subject. Doesn't matter. Weather modification, oh, you're a tinfoil hatter. Geoengineering, oh, you're a tinfoil hatter. So that really certainly does not dissuade me from posting videos. You talk about vaccine dangers. You know, tinfoil hatter, conspiracy theorists. Now, there is evidence, by the way, of directed energy weapons. I did hear a video posted by Max, I don't know, about a week ago. And he said there was no evidence of directed energy weapons. And I disagree. I disagree. And I disagree with a lot of what he says. Does that mean that I don't respect Max? No. I just disagree. Does that mean that he's a shill? No. I disagree. He sees things a certain way, and perhaps it could be that confirmation bias that he talks of. His own confirmation bias operating. We all have it. That's why I have said it is so important for all of us to do the work necessary to increase our awareness of our own self, to increase our awareness of our own thinking, how we think. If you don't have any awareness of how you think, you will ultimately be a danger. You will make these presumptions and then spit them out, and they're lies. Most often, presumptions are inaccurate, not right, but wrong. And when you spit them back out, you're lying. You don't even know it, but you are. You know, like, this one's a shill. Okay. There are times that I've listened to people. I've disagreed with what they have said, but they have said it so definitively, like it's an absolute truth, and it's not. And I hear ego operating. That's another really important aspect of ourselves that we need to be aware of. Am I guilty of saying things definitively? Absolutely. No one is perfect. We make mistakes. What is important is to come out and, publicly take responsibility for that mistake made. So, before I speak in more detail about what Max is saying in this video, I want you to listen to this woman, and I'm going to play the full 3.5 minutes of what this woman has to say. These fires are certainly providing evidence that it ain't just a bushfire. Something else is happening. They do have many methods, many tools, many weapons in their arsenal. I can't think of any one event that has only one weapon going on. Smart meters, geoengineering, incendiary materials that they're dropping on the trees and all over, the lithium, the aluminum, weather modification, creating the wind, which hopefully will be my next video, showing how man can create wind. And I've been showing in the videos where I include satellite images, you see those air masses going in all different directions, colliding, combining. That produces high winds, a lot of instability in those areas. And then you have the land management. Now, and I've been hearing a lot of videos, actually, just in the last 2 days, a lot of people disputing the fact of the Australian government not clearing the land. So, what we have here in our cyber world, social media, many platforms, are an awful lot of people claiming this, claiming that, and the only thing that you can do is keep doing an awful lot of research. It's exhausting to find the truth. But what I've been hearing, a lot of people talking about hearing explosions, but what I've really been hearing is how fast are these fires. So, just a few minutes. It's heartbreaking listening to all of what's going on right now, but here it is.
We thought our house would be fine. That's why we only packed a couple of things, because we actually thought we were going to come back to a house. And then, so I got to Steve's and Lisa's place, and Steve went up, Steve came back, and he said, yeah, Jeff's fine, he's fine. And I said, yeah, I do wish that they would come, because we saw at the back of the golf club there, we saw masses of dark, red, angry clouds heading that way, and I thought they really should be back here. Anyway, so Foxy noticed that there was a fire up the top of the street on the house, and he said, all right, it's time to get out. So they got out, and by that time the house was still all standing, and it was our back neighbours who noticed. They did a bit of spot firing, and they all thought the house was going fine, and then all of a sudden, it was in a matter of 15 minutes, something went under the deck, and it just went whooshka, and the house almost exploded. And then, but by that time, Jeff and Foxy were already back at the house.
So this is embers?
Must have been embers or grass, we don't know, but the grass around the house was like walking on straw. It was just so dry, everything was so dry. And, you know, all the people in our street, the houses are fine, but there's a lot of burn, but our house blew up. But there's about 8 properties in that little area alone that have been affected by the fire.
And it seemed like it exploded?
That's what our neighbour said. It seemed like the flame went under the balcony and it went whooshka up in the roof, and the tin roof is just like collapsed in.
Okay. Whooshka. Something came under the porch and all of a sudden whooshka. That is not an ordinary bush fire. Yes, the grass was dry. But a grass fire coming towards a house, it would not suddenly go onto the porch and cause the house to explode. So, what was that thing? Don't know, can speculate. Another one.
The fire was just creeping, just like a little grass fire, looked like something you could probably put your foot on. And then we thought things were getting a bit bad. We went out to fight, Mick turned the pump on, and it went from flames this high in a second to flames this high. And the fire came in from 3 sides, and so I just got ash in my face. I couldn't see, I could just scream for Mick. Yeah. And I just turned around and stumbled into a bush, and I just thought I was going to die, just lie there screaming for Mick.
What went through your mind at that point?
I'm going to die.
I just thought I'm dying.
Yeah.
When I was lying there, I just had my hand out and I was trying to crawl over a bush, and I just was screaming, Mick, 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 and I just thought I'm going to die.
Had to run through the house to get to Marilyn. Honestly thought that she'd be on fire when I got back to us. I don't know what else is going on. Maybe everything.
You made a call in the middle of it.
When Mick dragged me into the house, like even by the time I got to the house, the door handle, couldn't even touch the door handle, it was boiling hot. And I rang 000 and said, like, we're under attack. And we said, fire, bush fire, bush fire. She put us through, and he said, Cabago's on fire, Corma's on fire. He got our address. He said, you look like you're in a safe zone, protect yourself from the fire. And then while he was still on the phone, all the windows exploded in. And so I started screaming, and he said, I'll let the RFS know you're there. He was so nice, but he just said, try and get a wet towel. And I said, well, we're dying. And he just said, well, you're on your own. We got up to this door, we couldn't get here, this was all in flames. So we got in there, shut the door, and then I was lying at the front of the cars with my nose on the concrete, just sucking in air. The dogs panicked and got away from me, they went under the cars. I rang 000 again, and I just said, we're dying. And then all of a sudden it went completely quiet. There was no roar of the fire. The window went completely black. I just was hysterical. And then right across both sides, the whole ceiling just became fireball. And I remember Mick saying, bugger this, I'm not dying here. And next thing I know, he was dragging me over the top of the cars and dragged me out here.
So we had the 4-wheel drive buggy, and we couldn't find the dogs. We lost the dogs and took off around here. We were lucky.
We're very lucky.
Yeah.
And it's the scariest thing, and I would say anyone out there, do not fight it. Just get the hell out, get what you want, and just go.
Federal and state governments would argue they're doing everything they can. What do you think?
Not a hope in hell. And I'm not just saying that because we lost everything. No way.
I always find it interesting. I believe this is a boat. Bushfire all over. The boat destroyed. But you always come across these very clean objects. No dust, nothing. Looks completely untouched, which is weird. Now, what are you hearing in here? You're hearing a fire that, well, pretty much exploded their home. Came upon them so quickly. How many news reports have I listened to? And people are saying, I thought I was safe. And suddenly the fire was there. So something is happening that, well, leads one to believe that these are not normal bushfires. Okay. I want you to listen to just a few minutes.
So what we do when you see something like that, and like I said, this is Paradise, California. The claims are being made that what we're seeing here in Australia is the same as Paradise. Well, this is Paradise, California. You can look.
I've never heard anybody make that claim, that what we're seeing in Australia is just like Paradise.
Look at what's been done here. Places are just completely flattened and nothing left at all. This isn't exactly what we're seeing in Australia, folks. We're seeing plenty of remnants and we're seeing plenty of fire trail going to a lot of these places. So I would suggest this is not the result of a directed energy weapon. This is the result of a very bad fire.
Okay. I think now people have the idea that directed energy weapons will lead to what you just saw in California, the decimation, the dustification of homes. But directed energy weapons, depending on the frequency, depending on the power level, will bring about this kind of destruction that you're looking at right here, or the dustification. So that's not a good argument to say that this is brought about just by a normal fire. In fact, many of the homes that look like this, I'm not seeing any kind of black ash, I'm just seeing white. Kind of like that stuff we saw in 9/11. And Max does bring up 9/11. You know, he making the argument that that laser picture that I posted, other people have posted. Hang on, let me get it. Right here. Now, he said that he tried to track who took this picture and said that it seems to be a particular person on Facebook with a very private Facebook page. But then he said at the end that it was definitely that person. Well, that definite is incorrect, because he said that he thinks it's that person. Then he said that this is an artist rendition. In other words, somebody painted this on or photoshopped it. Well, it's easy to Photoshop things today, but he claims that it's just not legitimate. Like, it's not evidence because we don't see beams. They're invisible. True, but can a camera pick up a beam? That's my question. I've posted so many videos on the skies in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, as well as South Carolina. I can't see the pulsating frequencies that I see once I download the video onto my computer. The pulsating makes the camera go in and out of focus. And that out of focus comes about in just a split second. And it goes back into focus in a split second. I can't see it, I don't feel it, but I see it when I download. The camera picks up the pulsating frequencies. Can a camera pick up a laser if you're in the right place at the exact time? Perhaps. So, yeah, this is a time that requires a tremendous amount of time and energy and doing the work on your own personal self to increase the awareness, to continually step back, try to think in a different way. So I don't, look, that may very well be a laser caught by a camera, but I can't say that definitively. And he does bring up 9/11, Judy Wood's work, and, you know, the justification, but says something about, well, did you see red or blue beams on 9/11? That's not a good argument to make. I mean, it's, it doesn't, just because there were no lasers caught on 9/11 doesn't mean that you can't catch them at different times. And just because there isn't the kind of evidence, the specific a whole neighborhood decimated in California, while you have, and I have shown pictures, actually, of homes in Australia that have been brought to dust. To then suggest that the pictures that you're posting and, well, the home is not completely destroyed, it just doesn't, it's not really fitting the bill, because they have so many different, the arsenal of laser weapons now, directed energy weapons now, is, well, based on what we do know, a whole lot. Based on what we don't know, well, we don't know. And the technology is far more advanced than what we know, because they don't let out information. They begin to, release information on technology that they've been using for a while. But I will say this, Max points out that lasers are mounted on planes. That's not the only. They can mount them on trucks. There are handheld lasers. So, I'm sorry, Max, but I do respect you. I just don't think that these arguments are really good. No, they're... Okay, he also points out that this picture of the destroyed vehicles, and I've posted this picture as well, as circumstantial evidence that directed energy weapons were used. He claims this destruction is from a bushfire because, he says, look at the trees. Well, this tree clearly is charred, but the leaves are still on it. And they wouldn't be. They would not be. The destruction of these cars, very hot flames, a charred tree, you would see these leaves going up very quickly. It is so dry, your drought in Australia has left everything just a tinderbox. These leaves would have gone up. I did in my video say what happened with this tree, because it's not charred, yet this, whatever this was, got hit. These trucks got hit. This tree doesn't look hit at all unless the bark just came completely off it. But if you notice, and you got to look carefully, this tree looks charred, but there's a very defined line right here in this tree. The charring stops right here and doesn't go up further. So Max is seeing what he sees. I see what I see. I disagree with what he sees. Doesn't mean that he's a shill, and it doesn't mean, that... It doesn't mean that he's even wrong, because we can't say anything, with that kind of absolute definitiveness unless we were the ones using the directed energy weapons. So I find this tree very interesting, the defined line. Now, he also mentions a plain truth, and, you know, I was thinking, how is it? Hang on. Okay, a plain truth posted a video yesterday showing this picture, and Max points out that this is a picture in England, not Australia. The triangle right here, and the architecture of the buildings, England. And this apparently was a picture posted by Anthony Haywood. Okay, people make mistakes. I've made mistakes. A whole lot of people make mistakes. But I found it interesting. When Max pointed this out, why didn't I see this? Now, I don't know I don't know Australia. Okay. Somebody posts a picture claiming it's in Australia. Doesn't mean that they're a disinformation agent or setting you up to be a tinfoil hatter. It simply means that they could have made a mistake. Okay. The pictures that I posted in the video, somebody left me a comment saying one of the pictures is from a fire years ago in Australia. All right. Doesn't mean that the picture I showed was not a result of directed energy weapons, because it had the same signatures. And they've been using directed energy weapons for a very long time, 2 decades, only perfecting these weapons. But what I realized, I respect a plain truth. I think he's a very fine researcher. Does that mean that he doesn't make mistakes? Of course not. We all do. Nobody is perfect. And he also pointed out this picture, Max did. And this, okay, I realized, and I was thinking about how is it that I didn't see the American flag. So Haywood posted this picture, I guess claiming that it was in Australia. I also have to say that I have not seen a Plain Truth's video, but Max pointing out this is not in Australia. The American flag is right here. How did I not see that? Okay. 1, I do respect a Plain Truth. I trust his abilities, but that doesn't mean he doesn't make mistakes. So, my trust, my respect, I was looking at what he was focusing on, this car, and completely, it was just not on my radar, the American flag. So this is a picture in the United States, not Australia. Does that mean that this car was not hit with directed energy weapons? No, but to claim it was in Australia, that's the mistake. And it's simply a mistake. If you go any further and call the person a shill, or a disinformation agent, or whatever, then you've lost your objectivity. And you're entering into your own personal judgment about someone. And very often, the presumptions that people make, they're just completely flat out wrong. So when you then communicate those presumptions, you're lying. You're lying about someone. You're not about the truth. But you've got to increase your awareness of how you think, the presumptions you make, catch them before you spit them out. You've got to really pay attention to your own confirmation bias. We all have it, and so does Max. So we need to really be very aware all the time. And it's very hard. Very hard. It's exhausting. So to make mistakes sometimes, that is, well, what we do. We make mistakes. And what he's claiming about vetting the information is really important. So he also presents some information about the directed energy weapons, and he does say that they are a real thing. They are being used, but he doesn't seem to think that they're being used in Australia. Okay, that's your opinion. Based on what I'm seeing, there is evidence that directed energy weapons are being used. And I've presented that. He doesn't then go on, when he's talking about a plain truth, to also point out the very anomalous car that's destroyed, and I'm trying to find it. It's a Plain Truths video. And this was one of the pictures that he posted, a Plain Truth, in his video. This is Australia. This I saw on the news. And this was my first post of circumstantial evidence of directed energy weapons. The car destroyed. The metal melted. Glass melted. Hardware, door handles, gone. The driveway is pristine, clean. And you're going to tell me that these leaves would not have gone up? This tree untouched? But Max doesn't bring that up. So, and did I say that I saw a video about a week ago, Max saying there wasn't any directed energy weapons, no evidence of it? No, that's his opinion. And it's not the case. There is evidence. Now, Anthony Haywood, this picture, Australia, apparently so. And the Plain Truth is pointing out how selective is the burning of this bushfire. And some of these homes, and I've posted videos, pictures of homes in Australia leveled, like the ones in California, leveled. But this fire is just jumping all over the place and leaving untouched a whole lot of trees, but bringing flat out, leveled dust a home. This picture is very similar to the pictures in California. So, yeah, what is entailed of us now is to look at everything, and it does require a tremendous amount of energy. It's hard. This apparently is, this is Australia. Dust. Leveled. A little bit of structure left over. But the trees around it, fine. So, I disagree with Max. I'm not going to stop posting. And if he actually said this, I really disagree with this. It's kind of outrageous. But what I did here is, if you're posting information, you vet that information as carefully as you can. But then you don't come out and claim someone is something because they made a mistake. That's just completely and utterly unfair. And you are helping the utter annihilation of any trust in this community, which I think is pretty much annihilated. So there is evidence, and we need to post it. It really does need to be posted. All right, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to post a video, the next one, on directed energy weapons. And let me just... Well, no. I'll pick up right here. I'll pick up right here from this video. Stay safe, everyone. We're living a whole... This is a whole new world that has been brought in. And there's so many different aspects of this new world that trying to take hold and understand your experience, it does require a lot. So, you know, when people have an awful lot of subscribers, when you like someone, when you respect someone, when they have already presented to you that they know how to research and they've come up with a really just great information that explains a lot, it doesn't mean they're right all the time. That includes me. It includes me as well. So, what you heard from Max is his opinion. It's not fact. And it's not the truth. It's his opinion. And he has a right to his opinion. I have a right to mine. And what I'm seeing in Australia clearly is different from what he is seeing. And unfortunately, these weapons, directed energy weapons, the reason why militaries were so excited about them, plausible deniability. Plausible deniability? It allows for what we're living. All of us trying to figure out what the hell is going on. One person has this opinion, the other person has that opinion. Neither has to be fought over. We don't have to fight. We can stay respectful. But we also have to catch our opinions and state them as an opinion. And have I been guilty of saying things definitively? Yes. Yes. So, and I make a mistake when I do that. But when I do see things and I do see evidence, then I will say, this is circumstantial evidence of directed energy weapons. This is evidence of nanoballoons in your atmosphere. This is evidence of weather modification, right here on radar, on satellite. But when we're talking about this is a bushfire because these trees have been charred, not taking into account that, yes, a laser can char a tree. The very defined charring, stopped with a exact line. This tree here untouched, but these vehicles destroyed. There's in just one picture says a lot. And just listening to people and believing everything that they say and taking their opinion as fact because they are someone that you respect and like, that's not truth. That's just going with your emotions and your own biases. All right. Enough from me. I will post what I will post. It's no more a hindrance than anything else we're claiming. When people refuse to get outside the box of the official narrative, everything's a hindrance. Because they just don't want to see what's right smack in front of them. And it doesn't matter whether it's directed energy weapons, geoengineering, weather modification, vaccines, Agenda 2030, tinfoil hatter. Well, that's what you get charged with, but it's not going to prevent me from posting. Stay safe, everyone.